In this session, we will see about maps in Groovy. So in last session, we have talked about lists. So the key difference between list and map is in list, we will store only one set of values. Like either we can store uh, uh, separated by comma, strings, numbers, or any other data type. Whereas in maps, so it's something different. So we will store the key and then the value. So it is a pair. But in case of list, it is only single value. But in when it comes to map, so it is a pair. So then the key and the value we will store together, and then we will separate the elements using comma. Okay, so the simple map, right? So we can define using uh, square brackets and in between in between colon. So this colon represents like the map, empty map. If the colon is not present, so then it will convert to list. So we can define empty map, or we can define with the values, or once we define the map, then we can add the elements. So all of these things can be done in maps. Okay, so and one key difference, right, between the dynamic map and the static map. So here we can see two examples. So here we have already defined the x value and y value, right? So now if we print yeah, so now if we print this particular map, so we will see x is a key, which is a fixed key, and the value is taken from x value from this variable. So so this is how the like it will print. Now so if you want to make this x as dynamic, so we should surround the x with some we should we should surround these variables, key variables, with a uh, parenthesis. Then it will take the key values as a dynamically. Whatever we values we provide here, the same values it will take. And then finally, it returns the dynamic map with with the values taken from the variables. So these are the some simple map examples. Okay, and if we want to retrieve uh, some value from map, so we can use like this. So if this is a simple example where we are storing internal ID and address ID, right, in a map. So now if we want to take the internal ID uh, from this map, existing map, so how do we call is map name dot map map name dot the key. So then it will return the value of internal ID. Same like this. Okay, and we'll go to this example later, but this is also a simple example. So where suppose in team members, in there is we have a profile option concept, right? So in profile option, we might store the email and username and email list pair. So from this, if you want to convert these comma separated pair into map, so how we can convert from this text value to map, right? So using dot split, so how we need to split and then we need to separate it by colon. So using this function, we can convert the string comma separated. So this looks exactly, the pattern is same as map, but it is not a map. It is just a string. So this string, like so we are trying to convert it into map. So then we will use this split comma and then split colon to make it a map. Once uh, once we made this string to map, then we can separate the usernames separately. So that means usernames means the key values. So how do we get the key values is uh, the map name. Okay, so here it should be the user list. So user list is a map name. So we need to use user list dot key set, and then we can get the key set values. That is nothing but usernames. And then if we use user list dot values, then all the values will come into a result. So like this, we can perform some operations on the maps. And so now we'll take some example and we'll try some operations in maps. We'll take first this example. So what we are going to do is we are defining a fixed map, and then we'll try to print the key values as well as the values. Okay. How do we get the record from the map, right? So we have seen this way. So so here we have another method. So we can just pass map of the uh, the position. So that will also give the map value. So now we'll go to contact object. We'll just print something. That's all. We'll take a simple example on before update event. I'm going to copy the script. Since we don't need all of this, I'll remove all of these lines. We don't want this. We are just creating a map, okay, and then we are trying to print the record values. So the logic can be depending on our scenario, but so we'll try to print the values and then we'll see. Finally, we need to throw so basically in this example, right? So the set attribute function we have. So what we are trying to do here is we are passing dynamic. We are taking uh, each map value, and then taking up we are taking attribute name, comma attribute value, and then we are using set attribute. So we are setting the values taken from the map. That's what we are doing here. Uh, for simplicity, we are just printing what is row and what is map create of row. So that's what we are going to do. So here I'll define key value and yeah, basically key value and key name, right? So key name is nothing but this record name, event type, location, and key value is nothing but the value inside this. So now what uh, key name we are assigning it to rows. So this is the key name and key name equal to key name. We'll separate it with the comma. So we are just appending. So for every loop it will run, right? So every time we are appending the new value to the existing value. So the same way we'll do for key value. And then key value equal to key value plus map of row. So now we have key names and key values. Now once this for loop is completed, so basically we have three map values here. So for loop will run three times. First, it will take the record name. Okay. So from key set. So key set is nothing but our the map key values, right? So it will take the key set. So this will give the list of all uh, the key values, means keys, map keys, and for each map key we are trying to print the same value, the map key, and then map value. So, so like this, we are iterating. So now we'll print this key names. So we are printing both. We'll just validate. Okay. It says it can't because the data type is object and string. So it's giving some warning. This is still fine. If it gives some error in executing, right? So then we'll come and we'll try to fix this. But now we'll just validate and then we'll proceed. So now we are going to update a record so that our script will run. So there is no dependency uh, on this contact, but we are just running the script. So now if we update anything on contact, the script will fire. Okay. Yeah. So now we can see from the given list. So it printed. So first one, it gave null because the initial value is null. So it just printed this. So we can neglect this one by using if condition, but the other items are printed. Record name, event type, and event location are the key names, and the values and the respective values are test value to orientation and Bangalore, right? So these are the key values and key names. So the same example, right? So same example we can use in real time example, uh, like when creating a record, right? So we can use same book. Yeah. So here is the example. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the example, right? The same example we took. We have we have given a fixed map, and then we can use a for loop, and then we can set the attributes dynamically. So we don't need to write multiple set attribute functions. Instead, we can just define all those into a map, and then we can write uh, simple groovy, right? So we're using for loop, and then it will take dynamically. It will set all the values. So if we don't do this, so it will be uh, suppose here it is three values, so it will we need three set attribute lines. If we have like 10, so we might need 10 lines. So this will reduce that 10 lines code to uh, a single it's basically two line 3 line code. So this is one use case. So then the another use case is uh, So the another use case is a dynamic value, right? So when we have one script, so where we can find the frequent vote. So in this script also, so we can use the maps, and the example I'll show. Yeah. So basically, we are defining an array and we are storing all the items into an array. And then we are doing a hash map. There is a slight difference between the map and hash map. So map mm, contains unique key pair values, but hash map can have duplicate values also. That's the difference between hash map and map. So whatever we have talked earlier is map, uh, but hash map can hold duplicate values. Map does not allow null values, but hash map can have null key and multiple values. So, but hash map, but normal map will not allow null key. So it must have a key. So in these cases, we can define the map like this, hash map, and then string comma integer, and the map name, new hash map. So this method is like it is similar to the Java JavaScript. So the same methods, same will work in Groovy also. So like this here, we have defined two hash maps, and using these two hash maps, we are storing all the occurrences into one map, and then the frequency, number of times. So we are storing in one more array. And so here, if you observe, we are using map dot put of the key value, comma key name and key value. So here, if you see, the ARR of I is coming dynamically, and the value is also dynamically. So, so using this way, we can add multiple values to map dynamically. So like this. Okay, so this is one use case where we will use maps, but slightly it's using hash maps. And also when we use web service, right, we mostly use payloads in a map format. JSON supports the same format, right? So we use the same concept. We use maps mostly to give the payload. So if we observe here, so this is one of the example where we are using web services and we are creating attachments and getting attachments. So while getting attachments, what we are doing here is we are defining an empty map here, and then so we are defining an empty map here, and then we are adding each attribute and each value by using a while loop. So basically, we are getting attachment, and then we are storing all the information into a map. So where we are storing whatever the attribute name as key value, as a key, and the actual value, right, in the key value. So this is how we are storing all the values. So we can use a put method here, or we can also use body dot data type port equal to the value. So like that also we can use. So the way showed earlier here, right? Uh, yeah. Hmm. So here, so this is one method, and other method is just we can use the map value, map name dot the internal ID. So we can use that. So it will directly set the same value. So this is also a method. So finally, when after completing this map construction, then we will give this map to web service, and then it will do the necessary action. Uh, and then yeah, so basically like this, we'll use wherever it needed, but we'll use most of the cases same concepts we can use to perform uh, even for other operations.